Catholics around the world marked the second day of mourning for Pope Francis, a day after his interment.
The Catholic faithful will mourn the Pope for 9 days, this being the 7th day before the process of choosing his successor begins.
That's right. In the meantime, the tomb of the late Pope Francis has been revealed as faithful and pilgrims begin to pay homage to the late pontiff. We get more from our very own Brenda Wanga.
A single rose marks the spot where the late pontiff was laid to rest on Saturday at the Santa Maria Maggiore Basilica. Inscribed on it, a single word, the name he took upon his ascension to the papacy: simple, humble, in eternity as he was in life. Above his tomb hangs a reproduction of the iron-plated cross Francis wore throughout his papacy, reflecting his desire for humility even in death. Back at the Vatican and across the world, thousands of people gathered for masses in honor of the late Pope Francis on the second day of the Novem Diales, or the days of mourning.
The Eucharistic prayer, we are supposed to mention and pray for the Pope as the head of the church. But now the seat is empty. So we go, instead of mentioning the name of the Pope, each diocese is supposed to mention the name of its ordinary, or the local ordinary, that is the local bishop. For example, here in Nairobi, we are mentioning the name of our local bishop, who is the Most Reverend Philip Anyoro. So the church now is going to be guided by the cardinals. The cardinals have a dean. The dean is the one who led the liturgy yesterday for the burial of the Pope. But also the most important figure there is also the Camerengo, who ran the business of the Vatican in the absence of the Pope.
According to the steep Catholic tradition, faithful will mourn the Pope for 9 days since his burial. At the close of the 9 days of mourning, which commenced on Saturday, the next step in the process of getting his successor will begin. It is expected that within 15 to 20 days of the passing of the Pope, cardinals eligible to vote will gather for the conclave, a secretive meeting that votes to elect his successor.
And therefore, they are going to start with their formal meetings. After that formal meeting, the cardinals are going to have time for prayer, a kind of retreat, and then they go in for a conclave.
The process of the election is shrouded in secrecy and remains virtually unchanged in 800 years. Under the current rules, only cardinals below the age of 80 are allowed to cast a vote. This time round, 135 cardinals of the voting age will gather inside the exquisitely decorated Sistine Chapel, home of all the papal conclaves since 1858, where they will whittle down the candidates through successive rounds of voting. The cardinals, sworn to an oath of secrecy, will be locked inside the conclave until they can choose a successor. The names of 9 cardinals are chosen at random to officiate and organize the vote. 3 become scrutineers, whose job it is to oversee the vote, 3 more collect the votes, and 3 more revise them. During each ballot, cardinals write the names of their choice, ideally in distorted handwriting to disguise their identity. The ballot papers are then burned in a small fire inside the Sistine Chapel. The black smoke, which is produced by the fire, tells the crowds waiting outside that a new pope has yet to be chosen. A pope is only elected when a single candidate receives a 2/3 majority and white smoke is seen billowing from the Sistine Chapel. Brenda Wanga, Citizen TV.